Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new episode of 4-Letter Word with your host Fallenwolf. Ow! So, first of all, let's get this out of the way. The 4-letter word of today is more. More because I know that all of you have been waiting for more 4-letter word. I am so happy to be getting back into this. Last time I left off, we had such a heartfelt reunion. Such a heartfelt reunion between Colby and Asher. Asher finally admitted to Colby how he felt, and granted, that was only one of the routes, but then it ended. So I did want to give a quick little synopsis, I just want a quick little background of what's been going on. 4-letter word has been a fantastic visual novel for me. If you haven't played it already, I would highly recommend giving it a try. The info is down in the description below. I am playing the most recent public version, which I believe is 0.1.4. Now, if anybody knows if this is not the most recent public version, please let me know. But as far as I know, this is the most recent public version. I was trying to look for more information to see if there's another public release version, but as far as I know, there's not, which is weird because I think the last public version came out almost in October, like October, November of 2020. So it's been a few months. I'm not sure what's going on with the Patreon version. Maybe that's updated. But so this is going to be the final video for 4-letter word until the public version gets updated. As I've said, my stipulation for playing a VN before on this channel, I only play the public version. I do not play the Patreon version, just for the sake of making it fair for everybody and not ruining what the Patreon exclusive content is. So even if there is a Patreon version, I will not be playing until the public version gets updated. That being said, though, there's only one. This is going to be the last video until the public version gets updated. All I'm doing in this video, we're going to be playing. Somebody mentioned to me last time I played this game that I missed one route with Colby, so I'm going to be doing that route for this video. And then, like I said, I'm not going to be playing this until the public version gets updated. Hopefully, it will be soon, or hopefully there is a public version released as of the recording of this video. But as far as I know, there's not. That being said, though, let's get started. Oh, I'm going to be doing... Ooh, hold on. Okay, ignore this. Alright, everyone, I will see you in just a moment. I made a boo-boo. I will see you in just a moment. Okay, everyone, I'm back. there was one more scene I forgot to add. I don't think I added it to the last time I played this game. There's also an exclusive scene with Eli, that I forgot to do, so we're going to be doing that too. From Elis, subject reply busy. Good to hear from you, Cole. You can come by my place if you'd like. 3359 Fieldstone Avenue, apartment 21. Okay. Yes, please. I don't know if you're old enough to be making dad jokes, Eli, but at least you don't live too far from here. Well, here goes nothing. This is new, too. I don't think I did this scene either, so I'm doing this scene. Cole, you made it. Hey, you have a pretty nice place here. Yeah, not bad, huh? I'm pretty lucky since I can pass for one of you hearies pretty well. It's a lot harder for other deaf people to get a place of their own. It seems like no one in the city wants a disabled person for a tenant. That can't be legal, can it? It sure isn't, but that doesn't stop people from doing it. But hey, I didn't drag you all the way out here tonight to bring you down. I'd been so caught up with maintaining eye contact with him that I hadn't paid much attention to it at first, but there was a strong smell hitting my nose. I realized it had to be coming from the paintings behind the huge tiger that I hadn't noticed until now. It looked like a large portion of the living space in his apartment had been converted into some sort of studio. Those paintings over there, do you make all of this stuff yourself? Yep, that's my work. I don't usually paint landscapes, but the trees in Clearmount are absolutely stunning in late autumn, and it works as a pretty good warm-up. Wow, it's gorgeous, Eli. Do you work as an illustrator for a living? Yeah, I guess I never mentioned that, huh? I do a lot of freelance commercial work, mostly real nerdy stuff like novel and comic book covers, trading cards, and the odd concept art gig here or there. I've got a rough understanding of graphic design, so I've done a bit of magazine and website layouts and t-shirt designs in the past, too. Nothing too fancy, but work's work. That's actually pretty amazing. Seems like you have a real wide breadth of work. Yeah, though you kind of have to in order to survive in this industry. I've never been the art gallery type, so that's kind of where I've ended up. Of course, it wasn't exactly where I saw myself as a kid, but deafies are real visual people, so it felt like a natural fit as I got older. What did you want to be when you grew up when you were a kid? Firefighter. Why a firefighter? Well, sounds kind of dumb now, but I guess I always wanted to be the hero. You know, saving lives and all that junk. Everyone wants to feel useful, important. That's just how 5-year-old me wanted to go about it. It's pretty silly, I know, but when you're 5, well... No, I think that's a great dream to have. Plus, with a body like yours, you'd look great on a calendar. Oh, Colby, stop it. Stop, Colby, stop it. You flirter. Well, in any case... Looks like it was my turn to make him blush. Do you still think about becoming a firefighter sometimes? Nah, that boat sailed. I talked with a death firefighter when I was a lot younger. He told me that there's a lot of limitations when it comes to his job. He couldn't enter structure fires or dispose of hazardous materials because him and the other firefighters would need to wear an air mask and then make it impossible to read lips. I decided a long time ago that's not what I wanted. If I was going to be a firefighter, I wanted to be right there alongside my brothers and sisters in that department, not separated and isolated because of my condition. I'm so sorry, Eli. It must be terrible to have your childhood dreams stolen away from you like that. Oh, Cole, don't ever feel bad for me because I'm deaf. I don't see my condition as an obstacle, and I don't want you to either. I mean, how many kids want to become an astronaut when they're little because they want to travel to the moon, but never get the opportunity? My case is not too different from that. The important thing is that I'm happy with my life as it is, now. None of that needs to change. Oh, by the way, I'm just about to start my waiting for the paint to dry ritual. Well, it's oil paint this time around, so it's really the waiting for the paint to oxidize ritual, I guess. Care to join me? Of course. I have to warn you, though, it's not for the faint of heart. Uh-huh, I'm sure. Seriously, it's a very involved and sacred process. Not everyone has the discipline to raid their fridge, drink all their beer while sprawled on their couch marathoning an entire season of Raising Hell on web flicks. Does it take a long time? The oxidation, I mean. Oh yeah, days, sometimes weeks. It depends on the colors I use mostly. Wow, I was thinking like maybe a few hours or something. Yeah, it's not like water-based paints where you do just let the water evaporate. With oils, you're basically waiting for it to rust. As weird as that sounds. I do use liquid to help speed up the process, but that's why we're talking days instead of months. Still can't argue with the results, and it makes revisions on the fly pretty painless. It's only when you're done that it becomes a problem. And you're just lying on your couch the whole time, murdering your liver. Nah. Sometimes I invite a cute fox over. This guy. Not a drop to drink yet, and already I'm all red. I have some IPAs in the fridge. You want one? Sure, I'm not really picky when it comes to beer. Anything works for me. See, hold up, Colby, hold up. We have to pause. I am not a beer girl. I don't like beer. I'm not a beer girl. I don't really like beer. I like the flavored stuff, which is, I think it's technically called malts. Like, I'm a fan of my Mike's Hard Lemonade and that kind of stuff. But, like, I can't drink regular beer. Now, I don't mind drinking something like straight rum or straight bourbon, but that's about it. I can't drink beer. I've tried it. It's just gross. Like, you know how you always have like those cool high school things where you try to be cool, you drunk beer, and most people usually just tolerate it. Me, I couldn't drink it. I couldn't even I could barely finish the first glass. It was like the first bottle. I was like, ew, it's like, this tastes so yucky. I was like, So you've heard it here first. Fallenwolf is not a beer girl. Like, don't. Fallenwolf is not a beer girl. If you give me a beer, it's gonna get probably poured down the drain. It's just a heads up. I might take that as a challenge. Okay. Maybe I'm a little picky, but not much. Always good to be honest. The enormous tiger disappeared from view to go fetch the beers while I made myself comfortable on his couch. I didn't have to wait long until I felt the cold belly of the bottle press into my fingers. Cheers. This is a nice scene. I like this one. Spending time with Eli was something special. Nothing out of the ordinary happened, but just being able to relax and forget all my worries and just feel comfortable. Not even a certain snow leopard could plague my thoughts when I was with him. That's nothing short of magic. Maybe I could see this becoming a long-term thing after all. I like that scene. Okay, that was a different day. Thursday, November 21st. Okay. Oh, this is new. Okay, I think this is a new scene because I don't remember going. I don't think I remember I don't remember this background. Okay. UMass Clearmount, also known as the 8th Circle of Hell, Tartarus, Niflheim, or Naraka. The Genia campus was somewhere across the sea. I kid, but how often do I find myself back here? It really does feel like I've been consigned to this place for all eternity. Damnation or no. I guess not every guy visits their old alma mater on a Thursday morning, but at least I'm not alone in having some kind of side gig. Seems like everyone who's not earning 6 figures does these days. Especially with how unpredictable my hours are, it helps to have something to fill in the gaps and compensate for some of the leaner months. I'm still in contact with one of my old professors, Nora Kent. Yeah, the same Nora Kent that wrote the screenplay for When Barry Met Allie near the start of her career, though she doesn't like it when I call her Professor or Miss Kent. Sounds too stuffy, she says. She prefers Nora. It's easier for her to talk to people when everyone's on the same level, and I'd have to agree with her on that. She was by far the most approachable faculty member, and that's a big part of the reason why we still talk sometimes. Asher likes her a lot, too, though considering she's most well known for her work on romantic comedies and deep psychological horror movies, thankfully not at the same time, it's not hard to see why. She's worn a lot of hats in the industry, too, which is why she was able to teach me everything from how to run cable to the effective use of color temperatures, light meters, and different lenses. It's kind of funny how I went to school for film production only because I thought it'd be a fun way to get a degree and not because I thought I'd ever use anything I learned there. Then I ended up doing porn instead of moving back home to work at my aunt's IT consultancy. While I was hired to be on-screen talent, I also got some extra hours working as part of the crew handling lighting and power. Yeah, I got a lot of key grip and best boy jokes thrown at me on the set. Those got old pretty fast. But hey, that's why I'm here today. I don't only do crew work on the side for Mailtail, nor sometimes contracted me for some of her smaller productions. She didn't really specify in what capacity she needed me today, but she knows I can fill in whatever gaps need filling by now. At least I assume that's why all she asked is if I was free for the day before making me haul ass over to her office. She knows I don't like coming here otherwise. I still have nightmares about this place sometimes. Late assignments, surprise exams I never knew I need to study for, failing grades, just your normal everyday adult nightmares. Even though I've been out of school for years now, I've traded chainsaw-wielded boogeymen for 2.0 GPAs and lost scholarships, except for on movie nights with Asher. The chainsaw murders came back into my dreams then. Walking through these doors, it feels like I never left, almost as if I'd just been reliving the past few years of my life on loop. It's kind of like that movie about the groundhog that keeps repeating the same day over and over again. I can't remember what it's called. Oh, you mean Groundhog Day. I have never watched Groundhog Day, actually, which is surprising because I'm a Bill Murray fan, but I've never watched Groundhog Day and I never heard it's really good. In any case, as much as I love to keep dragging my feet, no one's paying me to do it, are they? I better get a move on. Knock, knock. Nora. Ah. My office has a door that you can knock on, which you didn't knock on, and instead chose to open and say knock knock. The thing you usually do before you open the door, which you opened before. Nice to see you too, Nora. Christ, you kids are gonna make me pick up smoking again. Believe it or not, this was Nora in a good mood. She could take some time to get used to, but I found her, unorthodox approach to mentorship really refreshing. Even if she could come across as ordinary sometimes, I found her far less intimidating than some of the more emotionally distant professors. It's nice having someone to learn from that you can treat like a friend and not someone you have to put on some kind of pedestal. I didn't have to feel like I was bothering her or wasting time when seeking her help or instruction on something. Your timing's good at least, if not your manners. He should be free soon. He? Yeah, the guy I want you to meet. That I told you about? That I didn't tell you about. Shit. You forgot all about it, huh? Well, at least you're finally acting your age. I ought to beat you for that one, but I'm not your mom. Thank God for that. Yeah, seriously, I feel like I dodged a bullet there. Colby, asshole. But wait, what was this about me meeting someone? Yeah, about that. There's this guy who got a tenured position on campus. I think he's some kind of astronomer or something. Don't really know, it's not my field. Anyway, he's a pretty nice guy. We had a few interactions that were pleasant enough, but I always got the feeling that he was kind of uncomfortable or maybe just lonely. You know, it's that kind of honed intuition only a real people person develops. I held my tongue for now. So, one day I tell him he needs to get laid as a joke, but I think he took me seriously because the next thing I know, he's telling me about how difficult it is to find guys while he's still new to the area. What? So I tell him I can't be of much help there, but I've had some students who are young and gay that might know where you can go to mingle with other boys. Hold on! Just because you know I do gay porn? So anyway, I told him to tell me what hours he might be available for, and I could try to schedule a time to meet with one of them. You didn't call me out here for a job! You made me come all this way just to talk to someone? If I told you, would you have come? I mean, no, probably not. You didn't forget to tell me, did you? This was on purpose. Man, you're making me out to be some heartless, money-grubbing mercenary or something. If I really thought so little of you, I wouldn't have expected you to stay after you realized what was going on. Besides, there's nothing wrong with wanting to be compensated for your time. Lord knows there's too many people in the industry preying on you kids willing to work for peanuts or exposure for career advancement. I just can't do that this time around. It's the 21st century and you ain't no gaishi. Paying you to do this would make even me feel weird. I'm not asking for much. Anyway, just get to know the guy and then show him around town when you have time. Did I mention he's a nice guy? Alright, Grandma, I'll do it, jeez! You owe me one, though. Thanks, Colby, you're a peach. Drinks are on me next time. Oh no, you aren't pulling one over on me like that again. Those drinks were on craft services, not you. Fine, I'll mail you a gift basket or something. A gift basket? A really, really nice gift basket. Fine! Great, that's settled then. I'll go get him. Don't go anywhere. I took a seat and made myself comfortable, knowing that I could be waiting a while. Nora's office was exactly how I remembered it, probably because she spent as little time in it as possible. Although it's not that abnormal to have a framed photo from decades ago in your office, that was probably the most recent addition. She probably hadn't even touched half of the things in her office just as long. I can't really blame her despising the place, though. The accurate walls were what you might politely refer to as oppressively bland. Just looking at them was enough to feel like they were sapping my energy. Though, as often as she complained about them, she never really did say what she would have preferred instead. Knowing her, though, she'd be just as likely to complain about any color, even if she didn't actually have a problem with it. It really makes me wonder if she's some kind of emotionally vampiric Ouroboros, sustaining herself off her own misery and spite sometimes. At least I remember she's a living embodiment of sardonism anyway. Just when I began to wonder just how much longer she was going to make me wait. Oh, hello there, Tom. We're going to save that picture. He looks like a cool guy. I'm trying to think. He looks like almost like an announcer. No, you know what he reminds me of? He for some reason I get like a newscaster vibe from him. Hey, you're Colby, right? I'm Tom. Nice to meet you. I try not to stare, but I also try not to have preconceived notions of people, and I've already fucked that up. When Nora was first describing him to me, I kind of pictured someone scrawny or not nearly so tall. Tom was a big guy who looked as though he might be more at home behind the wheel of a big rig or something. Someone I'd be calling coach instead of some of a PhD. He extended a hand and I reciprocated. My hand fit neatly into his larger fingers winding around mine quite easily as we shook before withdrawing. Around that time, I noticed we were alone in the room. Out of the corner of my eye, I spied Nora already having turned to leave. You're not staying with us, Nora? Fuck no, I don't sit around in this shithole if I'm on vacation. I got a class to teach. Someone's gotta teach these kids not to blow out circuits and fry themselves. Thanks, Nora. I was hoping she was gonna help serve as some kind of icebreaker. I was terrible at this sort of thing. Hi, I'm Colby. Although we already know that, like I said, terrible. Hey, relax, I'm not gonna bite your head off. I don't know what Nora's told you about me, but while I do, in fact, know that your name is Colby, I don't know much else. Oh, well, she told me that you're an astronomer? I think well, I do porn. A doctor and a guy who gets paid to get fucked on camera. We're just like two peas in a pod, aren't we? You do porn? You mean like... Yeah, I'm in front of the camera usually. Sometimes I do lighting and other things, but I'm mostly performing. I wasn't usually so shy about what I did for a living, but I was pretty embarrassed talking about it from someone so accomplished, who's actually made something out of their life. Yeesh, Colby, isn't... I understand that feeling. I can understand that. You know, I was wondering how Nora knew one of her students was gay, since that doesn't seem like the sort of thing to come up casually. But that would make things pretty clear, wouldn't it? Sorry, it's obvious you're uncomfortable talking about it. We could talk about me instead, if that helped. Anything you want to know? Oh, thanks, yeah, that'd probably be better. I guess I'm curious about what brought you here of all places. It doesn't seem like you're really enjoying yourself here in Clearmount. Oh, it's not that I don't like it here. I've just been moving around so much lately that now that the time's come to put down roots, I'm not really sure how to. Clearmount seems like a fine place, but it's a lot bigger than what I'm grown accustomed to, so I don't even know where to begin meeting people. As to why I'm here in particular, that's easy. I got offered tenure, and I'd be crazy to turn that down. It's kind of the endgame of the traditional astronomer career path, but the number of hopefuls far outweighs the number of available positions. Kind of hard to say no to that. Most people who study astronomy end up working in other fields, usually programming, so I'm lucky to be able to continue pursuing my dream. Sorry, but did you say programming? Maybe we weren't actually complete, utter polar opposites. Yeah, it might come as a bit of a surprise, but modern astronomy is not all like the fantasy they sell you in the movies. Well, it's a romantic notion to think about scientists spending their nights with their eyes pressed up against the telescopic stargazing. The reality is that most of us never even look through one. Telescopes these days are enormous, complicated machines that require whole crews to maintain and operate them. We just hire the observatories to collect data for us, and then it's our job to process it. It used to be that you could get by off a roll of graph paper and a pencil, but telescopes produce so much data these days that it's entirely unrealistic to try and process it by hand. Huh, I had no idea. I used to be really into programming myself. I had thought about going into a computer science program after high school, actually. I already had enough relevant knowledge for my aunt to want to hire me as one of her IT consultants, though. I just need a degree, so I opted for something that might broaden my horizons a bit and have fun while doing it. That doesn't surprise me. I could tell you were a bright kid. Huh? It's in the eyes. You've got sharp ones. Just how closely was this guy watching me? But something must have happened, right? I mean, that's not the job you're working now, is it? Oh, yeah. Would it be okay if I went back to talking about you some more? Fair enough. I haven't got a chance to talk this much about myself in a while. Most folks just aren't interested. Sorry if I touched a raw nerve there. Oh no, it's nothing really. There's just something you said that stuck out to me. Not my smoothest lie, but there was some truth to it at least. Something did stand out. You mentioned the reality of astronomy not being what was sold to you. Does that bother you at all? Do you still like what you do? I mean, yeah, it's a total bummer that I don't get to stargaze and ponder the mysteries of the universe. Sitting at a desk in front of a computer to solve them is, well, considerably less glamorous. But the reason I got into the field hasn't changed. I've always had such a fascination with the cosmos and unraveling the secrets of the universe. We've solved so many puzzles down here on Earth, but there are so many yet to discover up there in the stars. I think my obsession must have begun when I was a little kid. My parents put those glow-in-the-dark stickers of the solar system on my bedroom ceiling, and immediately I had so many questions that I quickly exhausted their capacity to answer them. It might have been that or my library book checkout history, but my parents got the hint. The moment I was old enough, they sent me off to an astronomy summer camp in Arizona, and that, as they say, was history. Why Arizona? Were you from around there? Not especially. That just was where the observatory that hosts the summer camp happened to be. Light pollution makes it really difficult to do any sort of astronomical observation, so observatories are typically built in secluded locations where you can get a really dark night. You mentioned that you weren't used to living somewhere so crowded. Is that why? See, I told you that you were a sharp one. After I got my PhD, I did a few postdocs that had me going all over the world. While that sounds exciting, and it was for sure, I was going from observatory to observatory, so I wasn't really hitting any of the major population centers. It wasn't very easy to get a sense of a country's culture when you barely interacted with it, and besides, I was there to do research, not sightsee. What kind of research? My favorite subject, exoplanets. Exoplanets? Yeah, planets that exist outside our solar system, basically. Ones that orbit stars that aren't our sun. Planet hunting is insanely cool to me. Discovering a new world that no one's ever found before, and even just the anticipation of it, is a huge thrill. Sometimes I think I understand how early explorers must have felt when they set out across the sea and made landfall. It's not a very straightforward process, though. You can't just point a telescope in a direction and find one. Space is very big and very dark, and planets are always in motion. That motion, however, is actually the key to finding them. A star that has planets orbiting around it doesn't remain perfectly centered itself, causing the star to appear to wobble. Plenty of planets have been found that way, but only really large ones. Smaller planets like ours have far less influence on their star's orbit. The trick there is to catch them when they're in transit between us and their star. It'll block out some of the light from the star, and from that silhouette we can gauge the size of the planet. The interval between transits can also tell us the distance between it and the star, and from there we can estimate the planet's temperature. The right conditions can mean the presence of liquid water and thus a potentially habitable planet. That's been the focus of my research. Sorry if I rambled a bit there. I get a bit excited when talking about that sort of stuff, and sometimes I forget not everyone is as interested in it as I am. That's one of the pitfalls of spending so much time around other astronomers, I guess. Oh no, don't worry about it. It was actually pretty cool to hear about. There's so much I don't know about what you do, so I found it pretty fascinating. Though, if I'm going to help you meet new people, I guess I still need to learn a bit more about you. Do you have any hobbies or interests outside of work? Well, I actually started to get into gardening recently. Have you heard about the Atacama Desert? It's one of the most arid, remote areas in the world. It also has one of the darkest night skies. While I was there in my last postdoc, the most remarkable thing happened. It rained in the world's driest non-polar desert, and the dusty, lifeless brown expanse was suddenly carpeted in flowers and brimming with color. They call the phenomenon Deserto Florido, the desert bloom. Once every several years, rain blankets the desert and germinates long dormant seeds buried there, causing them to flower. I had the good fortune to bear witness to a particularly vibrant showing with over 200 species of plants. At that moment, I was struck with a familiar feeling. I didn't understand what I was looking at. It was beautiful and unexpected and mystifying. I wanted to learn more about it. It was then that I realized that not all of the puzzles I wanted to solve were found in the stars above. Some of them were a lot closer to home. That sounds amazing. I wish I could have seen it. I could show you the photos I took of it sometime, but it's not really the same thing as seeing it in person. There's bound to be another within the next couple of years. Maybe we'll be able to catch it then. Maybe. It'd be nice to get out of the country for once. Even if you didn't get to see much of the places you lived in over the years, I am a little jealous at how well-traveled you are. You definitely seem a lot more worldly than I am. Maybe, but I probably have a decade on you in years. I'd bet. I wouldn't sweat it. You still have plenty of time to see the world if that's what you want. Speaking of that, though, there are a couple of other interests I've picked up over my travels. Observatories are usually built on mountaintops because there's less atmosphere up there, and thus less water vapor and atmospheric turbulence to refract light and distort images. It's helped me gain a better appreciation for the natural beauty of the world. I love hiking. You can see a photo of a trail, but you can't feel the trail without walking it. It's like how simply seeing a photo of a vista just isn't the same as experiencing it for yourself. A flat, still image doesn't convey the same sense of awe, scale, and depth, and robs you of all the other sensations surrounding it too. Yeah, I completely agree. I already know a few friends that you'll find that have that in common with you. Actually, are you free this weekend? A bunch of us are going camping out by the lake. There are some nice hiking trails there too. Afraid I can't do this weekend. Another time, perhaps. Here, let's exchange numbers so we can arrange something later. Sure thing. Ooh, Tom has been added to your contacts. Okay, great. Anything else you think I should know for now? I guess I've become something of a foodie over the years, too. Having lived in 4 different continents certainly diversified my palate. Oh, that's perfect. I know just who to introduce you to for that. I'm friends with the head chef at Oyster. It's a pretty fancy place downtown. No kidding? I've been thinking about going there for a while, but, you know, it'd be kind of lame to go there by myself. I hear that place gets booked up pretty solid, though. It'll be a while before we can get a reservation, isn't it? You don't have to worry about that. Troy makes sure they always hold a few tables for walk-ins for friends. Regulars are high-profile guests. Oh, well, that's rather thoughtful of him. To hear him tell it, it's just good business, but he's not the kind of guy that wears his heart on his sleeve. You'd sooner see him take a day off of work before you hear him admit he has feelings. So, since the weekend will be a no-go, are you free Monday night? I'll talk to him about it tomorrow when I see him at the lake. Yeah, I should be able to swing that. Any reason you have to ask him in person, though? Trust me, you don't want to try to get a hold of him any other way. It's an exercise of frustration and futility. Okay, I'll take your word for it. Thanks for doing this for me, by the way. You really don't have to, but I appreciate it all the same. I already feel a lot better about my decision to settle down here thanks to you. Don't mention it. Even if that old hag didn't put me up to this, I'm glad to have met you. I heard that! I hadn't expected her to be back so soon, and I definitely didn't expect her here to be that good. She must have been at the other end of the hall to be shouting like that. I'll be in touch. Yeah, good luck out there. Oh, I like Tom. I tried to sneak my way out of there, but there was no getting by Nora. Luckily, she hadn't actually heard what I said. She was just very conveniently responding to a joke someone else even further had made at her expense. Turns out the reason she was coming back to her office was because she did end up having some work for me to do. Oh well, might as well make the trip here worth it. Aside from meeting Tom, of course. I guess Nora's right after all. He was a nice guy. Oh, Tom, okay. We're meeting so many new guys. Okay, so anyway, skip. I'll see you. Alright. Yeah, I got a lot to skip. I'll see everyone in just a moment at the next part. I will see you in like a minute. Back, sorry about that. Monday, November 25th. So I believe this is the last scene before I end this video. Well, it probably would have been more appropriate for Tom and I to arrive together for a dinner reservation. He lived a lot closer to the restaurant than I did. It just didn't seem to make much sense for him to meet me halfway, only to go back to the place he had already passed. Besides, it's not as though it would be hard to find him once I was inside. I thought at first that it might have only been due to his size, but something else stood out about him tonight. Fancy meeting you here. Yeah, it's almost like you only got a table because of me or something. Touché. I guess you got me there. I have to admit, I feel a little underdressed considering underdressed standing next to you. He looks nice in the suit though. Look at Tom with his suit. He looks real good. I like his suit. No wait. Don't sweat it. You look great. Really. Thanks. Should we go sit down? Yes, please. I can't wait to try anything here. The big guy was rubbing his hands together, licking his lips like he just couldn't contain himself. I had to admit, it was kind of cute. Good evening, Cece. Is our table ready? Oh, hey there, Cole. Everything's all set for you two. Right this way. As Aline returned to show us to our table, I thought I caught her winking at me. God, I hope she didn't think this was some kind of date or something. Can a gay guy have platonic gay guy friends? I feel like I was living in modern day gay remake of Nora's When Barry Met Allie. At least Tom didn't seem to notice. He was far too engrossed poring over the menu with all the intensity of a man who'd been fasting all month. Hey, Cole, is there anything you'd recommend? You've been here before, right? Oh, well, I've eaten here once or twice, I think. You're kidding. You could drop by whenever. You can drop by here whenever you want, and you've only done it once or twice? I mean, it's a bit pricey to eat out all the time, especially here. Okay, that's settled. Tonight's on me. Order whatever you want. What? No way, I couldn't! Cole, you came here tonight because you wanted to do something nice for me. Let me do something nice for you. I don't know. You went to school for a lot longer than I did. Don't you have loans you have to pay off still, or something? Is that what you're worried about? I guess you didn't know, but most science PhD programs cover your tuition and actually pay you for any research or teaching work you do while there. I've been out of school longer than you have and had plenty of time to settle all my debts, so please, stop fretting about what I'm doing with my money. Alright. You don't have to look so miserable about it. Sorry, I really do appreciate the gesture. It's just kind of hard for me to accept it. People don't usually do these kind of things for me. Well, let's change that, why don't we? Now, is there anything on the menu you can remember trying in the past that you liked? Oh, well, almost anything on here is guaranteed to be good. Oh, I do remember trying the Pala de Marceau one time. That was really great. The rice was nice and al dente and soaked up all the flavor from the broth in the sofrito, and there was a nice crunchy layer of sauerkraut at the bottom. Say no more, I'm sold. And the mussels. No, really, no more. I already can't stand to wait any longer. Don't make me even hungrier. But really, where'd you learn to talk about food like that? Most people I've known struggle to go beyond calling something salty or sweet. I've never really thought about it, but I guess Troy's language must have rubbed off on me over time. I suppose it's not that surprising. He hardly ever talks about anything but food. Well, here's hoping he cooks as well as he talks. Good evening, gentlemen. Welcome to Oyster. How are you doing today? Good, thanks. Hungry. Very good, very good. Can I get you anything to drink to start? Just water is fine. We both have to drive ourselves home tonight. Of course. Still or sparkling? Still. Still for me too. Still for me too. Absolutely. And have you gentlemen already decided what you'd like to order this evening? I think I'll try the saffron risotto today. Palais de Marceau for me, please. Excellent choices, both. I'll take those menus from you, and if you'll excuse me for a moment, I'll be right back with your drinks. Thank you. Thanks. What do you think? He's kind of cute, huh? I don't know. I don't try to hit on everything that walks on two legs. Just kidding. I mean, he was cute, but I'm not that desperate. I'm just happy to have some friends I can hang out with here. The other people at UMass are pretty friendly during the day-to-day, but none of them want to do anything. I guess I'm younger than most of the my generation, so maybe that has something to do with it. Whatever it is, I don't think I've ever had this much trouble making friends in my life. I can believe that. You don't seem so hard to get along with. But really, you didn't think he was cute? I can only roll my eyes at that. Oh, come on, I don't know what kind of guy you're into, and you're not giving me anything to work with here. I thought I was supposed to be trying to play matchmaker for you. Nah, I could use your help meeting new guys who can help me meet new guys, and I'll figure something out from there. But, you know, if on the way I find something that might interest you, I could try to help hook you up if you let me know what to look for. You are single, right? It was an innocent enough question, but it had my stomach turning in knots. Suddenly I wasn't sure if I had the appetite for the risotto anymore. I wasn't really good at disguising my feelings, but I also didn't want to bring the mood down. Yeah, that easy to tell, huh? Lucky guess. I was just thinking, you know, because you do porn, it might be difficult to find someone who was okay with that. It was always something in the back of my mind. I guess I'd sort of already given up on meaningful relationships, so it never factored into my decision-making. Before long, the waiter had returned for our waters, and not much longer after that, our food. I was grateful for a reason to fall back into silence inconspicuously, as I had a lot on my mind, and not much that I felt like sharing. But I suppose I wasn't the only one who felt the weight of that silence hanging in the air. Sorry about that. Sometimes I get a little too wrapped up in a good meal. Don't worry about it. It'll hardly be the first time Troy's food got that reaction out of someone anyhow. it seemed like even now I still was a little guilty of it, as I hadn't even heard the cat approach the table. Though to be fair, Oyster was as crowded as ever, so even the mild murmur of polite conversation tended to drown a lot of other sounds out, and footsteps on carpet weren't exactly the most conspicuous of noises. Plus, as a cat, he had a pretty natural ability to stalk and hide his presence if he wanted to. I swear I'm not usually that oblivious. Okay, I guess I'm trying a little too hard to justify myself, but really, I do have good ears. I hope I'm not interrupting anything. Not at all. It's good to see you, Troy. I was expecting a personal visit from the chef, though. I would have thought you'd be too worried about the kitchen going up in flames as you stepped away from it for a second. Well, you know I do have my most capable sous running the pass in my absence. He only panics a little, sometimes. He even knows where the fire extinguishers are. I guess I'd buy you enough time to go back there and save the day. Hey, sometimes the brigade needs a little reminder of why those fire drills they complain about are so important. So, who's your friend? Oh, right! This is Tom. He's newish around here. He's an astronomer over at UMass that I'm showing around town. Pleasure to meet you. You must be Troy? The red panda extended his hand for a handshake, and I couldn't help but notice a slight moment of hesitation before Troy took him up on the offer. Troy had always been a little weird about handshakes, but I guess we're all allowed our quirks. I avoid walking in the cracks on the sidewalk as if they were lava, and Vaughn gets mad when you call them cracks in the sidewalk instead of contractioids, so I guess it's not that strange. Nice to meet you, too. I have to ask, where did you learn to cook a paella like that? I haven't had anything like that outside of Andalusia. You've been to Spain? I'd like to take trips to places with vibrant food cultures whenever I can find the time for it. I've had a stint in Madrid for a little while to absorb everything I could and bring back whatever I could learn. Even when on vacation, Troy's always working. Hey, it's not like I can help it. Once you start really getting into cooking, it's hard to just enjoy new food without thinking about how it's made. I only wish I could have stayed longer, but all that late night tapas was burning a hole in my pocket, so I had to come home before I went broke. Vamos a tapir. I can sympathize. I've heard it can be hard to find good free tapas in Madrid. That's one of the disadvantages of a big city, I suppose. You can find all sorts of different regional foods from Basis to Andalis, but it's probably going to cost you. What were you doing in Andalis? Sightseeing? I was there for work, actually. My first postdoc took me to Calara Alta in Almira. Almira? I've heard of that place before. It's a driest area in Europe, isn't it? I think I remember Tora telling us about how a lot of old Western films were shot there because of its similarities to the American frontier. The old Western town set they built there are still around today, supposedly. No kidding. I wish I had known that while I was still there. Maybe I could take you back sometime and we could check it out together. I think you'd love it there. I have to admit, I do kind of miss the slower pace of life there, although I am probably a little biased. Big midday launches that I can stretch on for hours sign me up. Yeah, and hitting the streets every night, going from bar to bar and sampling all the different tapas is a real treat. There was one tavern I'd always make sure I'd hit at least once a night that had the best plobo a la gala, and their tuna belly with aju blanco and peppers is nothing to sneeze at either. And the best part, the drinks are cheap and the tapas are free. I don't think anyone really knows for sure how tapas started, but food was scarce during the Spanish Civil War, and bars across Spain gave out free servings with their drinks. Andalusia is one of the last regions to still hold on to that tradition in a broad sense, and nowhere else embraces it more than Almira. It really brings people together. You'll see people from all walks of life, from toddlers to grandparents, all enjoying each other's company over a drink and good food, roaming around from one place to another. That does sound like my kind of thing. I might have to take you up on that offer someday. Cheap drinks, free food, and an excuse to wag your tongue for hours on end sort of seems like everyone's kind of thing. I guess it's kind of true. Although I don't think I've ever seen you drink, Troy. Well, you're not wrong about that. It's not my kind of thing. But hey, I'm used to being the only sober one around a bunch of drunk friends making asses out of themselves, so it's nothing new. You'd be amazed how popular you become when you're known for giving away your drinks, too. Hey, Troy, you wouldn't happen to be interested in going to Spain together sometime, would you? Even if you were serious, I don't know when I'll ever have that kind of free time again.
I've been thinking about quitting the restaurant business, honestly. It's all gotten to be a bit too much, I think.
Troy quitting his job? Troy does not seem like the kind of person. Troy seems like a very hard worker. This is new information.
I miss cooking on the line. At work, I'm mostly just expediting and plating food. I'm not really involved in making it when I'm on the clock. I was thinking about moving onto a food truck or something where I can be more involved and also maybe get a little more time off.
You wouldn't have to work as many hours?
Nah, the hours are still going to be long, but it'd be seasonal at least, so I could take a few months off in the winter to do something else. I mean, you've seen Claremont winters. Not exactly the best time to be a street food vendor.
Yeah, this one's a bit of a late starter. I hope you're ready for when it really begins, Tom.
Oh god, no, Nora's told me enough horror stories that I don't think it could possibly be any worse than I'm imagining. I guess I'll just have to see, but before that, I've got to hit the bathroom real quick. Which way is it?
Just around the corner and down the hall to your right. The men's bathroom?
Okay, you got me. It'll be on your left.
Oh, Troy, you bitch.
Okay, thanks. Be right back. So, that Tom guy, you guys are just friends, right?
Oh, no, Troy, don't ask us this. I mean, I want to go for Eli, so I should probably save, though, to be certain. But I'm going to go with yes. Yeah, Tom's just a guy I'm helping out that I met through one of my old professors. Emphasis on old.
I see. When I heard you were making a reservation for 2, I have to admit, I expected to see Ash here.
See, everybody wants Colby and Asher to get back together. They need to get back together. Even Troy's like,
oh, I was kind of hoping to see you and Asher together, you know, because you make such a great couple.
Are you saying the only reason you dropped by was to see Asher?
Hey, come on, Cole. You're my friend too. I would have come by regardless. I was just hoping to clear the air about something with Ash from over the weekend, since I don't get much opportunity to see either of you these days.
Did something happen? I could talk to him about it for you or something.
Nah, that's fine.
I could talk to you too if you need someone to talk to.
Thanks for the offer, Cole, but it's alright. It's nothing major. I'll just find another time to talk to him about it. I'm back. Did I miss anything?
You're saying you didn't miss us?
Haha, I wasn't going that long, was I?
Hello, how was everything this evening? Perfect!
I'd tell you to give my compliments to the chef, but he's right here.
Haha, fantastic. If you're done, may I take your plates? Absolutely.
Have you been taking good care of my guests tonight, Armand?
Most certainly.
Armand has been very attentive, and a delight to speak with, thank you.
Most appreciated, sir. It has been a pleasure to wait your table.
Good work, Armand. Keep it up.
Gladly. Is there anything else I can get for you tonight, gentlemen? Just the bill, thanks. Certainly.
Alright, I guess it's my cue to get back to work. It was nice talking to you, Troy. Mind if I get your number?
Oh, sure thing. It'd be nice to talk shop with a fellow epicure.
Great, thanks. I'll keep in touch.
Okay, you two get home safely, alright? Time to go back behind the line and inspect the damage. Wow, that must have been the first time I've seen Troy give his number without a fight. He might actually respond to your texts.
I'm sure it had everything to do with my exemplary charm and nothing at all to do with any shared experiences or interests.
Of course. True to his word, Tom footed the bill and wouldn't brook any argument over it. It was a nice gesture, of course, and my wallet appreciated it. It probably made him feel better about accepting my own generosity, too. But even still, part of me couldn't help but feel a little patronized, even though I knew that wasn't his intention. Sitting there with Tom, who had the rest of his life and career all figured out, and Troy, who had plans for the future, I couldn't help but feel like I was coming up short. The two of them knew where they saw themselves in 5 years' time. Me, I'm still trying to figure that out. You've reached the end of this build. Oh, that's it. Please take a moment to fill out the survey, which I already did. So. All right, that's it. Man, that was good. All right, I kind of liked. Okay, I liked that. It was nice to see somebody different. All right, I actually really like Tom. I'm really curious to see where Tom's route goes. I don't see Tom being a good fit for Colby as a boyfriend, but he seemed like a good friend. I like that route. There's not really much to say about this video. As far as I know, that was the last route to do with the public build. Like I said, feel free to comment, put it down in the comments below if there's a public version that's been released after this video, or as of the recording of this video. Please let me know. Feel free to put the description below. Let me know what you thought about the video. And don't forget, let me know what route you like the most. How do people feel about Tom? Did you like Tom? Do you think he's a good fit for Colby? Or do you think they're better as just friends? But, yeah, I still really like Colby and Asher. And if it's not Colby and Asher, I really do like Colby and Noah. I like Colby and Noah a lot. I would be really curious to see where that route goes. But with that being said, though, once again, like I always like to say, thank you so much, everyone who watches my videos. Thank you for all the subs. If you really enjoy what I do and you haven't subbed to this channel, feel free to hit the subscription button down below. Don't forget to like the video. And lastly, if you really enjoy what I do and you want to help me continue to make these wonderful videos, feel free to donate to my PayPal down below. I use Premiere Pro to edit my videos, and Premiere Pro is not cheap. It costs a good amount of money per month. So, you know, helping to pay for those costs per month is just $1, $2 from somebody is a great help. With that being said, though, this has been the end of 4-letter word until the next public build. Hopefully that'll be soon. Once again, keep up the great work. You are doing a fantastic job with this visual novel, and I can't wait to see more. But with that being said, though, this has been Fallenwolf. And you have been part of the Fallenpack. I'll see you next time, everyone. Take care of yourself and have a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye.